There is a lot of UFO news that has gone on, and Jason McClellan, our news correspondent, is going to tell us all about it.
Hola, Alejandro, and hello, everybody
Hola.
out in Radioland and to our video viewers. Remember, we do have video with the show that you can watch live on openminds.tv, as well as after the fact on YouTube and elsewhere. We are all over the internet.
YouTube rocks.
But this is your Open Minds News Brief for Monday, August 1st, 2011. We'll start off with a story that was early last week. I think that's when it was out. I know we've been talking about this one for a little bit, but witnesses observed a circular UFO in the night sky above São Paulo, Brazil on Saturday, July 23rd. And the object in the sky hovered and it rotated like a Ferris wheel. White or light blue lights around the circumference of the UFO flashed or pulsed as the object rotated. Additionally, a large blue light was in the center of the object. According to UOL News in Brazil, one of the witnesses described, "It was like a round disc with a lot of blue lights and was very high. Everyone stopped to watch. It looked like a movie scene." The UFO in the video is quite a spectacle and certainly looks mysterious. However, the object is most likely to be of terrestrial origin. The spinning of the object and its multiple lights are characteristic of an LED-adorned remote control aerial vehicle or an LED-adorned object suspended by a balloon or helicopter. One of the witnesses told UOL News, "A friend stated that someone put a lighted kite in the sky." A similar object floated over Rio de Janeiro in 2009. That UFO had a large screen on the bottom of it with a reported 15,000 bulbs. But according to Globo, a 160-foot steel cable attached to a helicopter was suspending the work of an American artist. So this artist created this UFO and put all of these LED lights on the bottom of it, and he could control the flashing and the patterns that the lights would do with his cell phone. And while it is certainly possible that this recent São Paulo UFO is something else entirely, the Rio de Janeiro artist-created UFO supports the notion that the July 23rd São Paulo UFO was also man-made.
Mm-hmm. It looks like it is because it's a circular blue lights that look like LEDs. The Epoch Times did a story on it just today, and as a follow-up, a lot of people have it. They've kind of caught on late.
Yeah.
The story came out in a few sources, and then a few days later, a bunch of sources came out with it. But nobody has anything new to offer except for one person who said it can't be a kite because it stays at a 45-degree angle the whole time, which a kite wouldn't. I don't know. That could be, but it's certainly because it's a circular light. It's cool looking, that's for sure. And I guess the jury's still out, but
yeah, I thought there would be some new developments because, like you said, on Friday and today, the beginning of the week, there were a lot of news stories from major media outlets on this story. So I looked at them, and yeah, they're just a week late on the stories.
Yeah, and but it is a fun video, so if you haven't seen it, be sure to go check that out. And we have now several links on it from our website.
Right, we definitely have it on the site, and we also have the one from 2009 from Rio de Janeiro on there too.
But it was good that we got there early and you got your story up because it looks like we got a lot of hits on it. Drove a lot of traffic to our site.
Excellent.
Well
All
done.
right. Well, a UFO in the sky above Fort Worth, Texas was recorded last Monday morning by a news station's tower camera. And I do remember one of our listeners we met at MUFON wanted us to talk about this story.
Yeah.
So this was recorded last Monday by a news station's tower camera. And the NBC DFW video shows a white light rapidly entering the frame from the top right of the screen. The UFO then makes a quick 45-degree turn and speeds out of frame. It is possible that the object in the video is simply an insect, but its identity remains a mystery. According to Bruce Phelps of NBC DFW, UFO investigators were contacted to review the video, but I haven't heard anything about any follow-up with that, so who knows if they actually did. But this video comes just 2 months after another NBC affiliate, KSHB in Kansas City, Missouri, caught a UFO on video with their tower camera. And I believe that was the Harry Potter car. The two lights.
That was a weird one.
Yeah.
That one, I would say, I don't know what the heck that Harry Potter car was. This one, to me, looks like a bug.
It certainly looks like a bug.
Because it flies in and then it goes away. And why wouldn't you see it before? And why would you see just this light when it gets close to the camera and goes away because it was captured by the light of the camera. So as it got closer, it kind of flew away. And the reason I say this is because I've done lots of paranormal investigation, and it reminds me of night vision.
Right.
Because when you're doing night vision, your night vision camera only can put light out to a certain, not very far. And so you'll see things fly into that light and fly out, and it's like as if they come and go really quick. It's something you have to be careful of. So it looks a lot like the night vision stuff that I've done when a bug flies in and flies out real quick. That's what I think it was, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, it definitely looks like a bug, but
it could be.
No say.
Al.
Yeah?
Alf, I mean.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird-looking dude.
Alf's freaky.
Here's a story from today. Researchers claim that they can reproduce complex crop circles with the aid of a tool that they put together and can be easily built by anyone. A team from the University of Oregon used parts from an ordinary microwave oven and a 12-volt battery to create a device called a magnetron. According to the Daily Mail, Professor Richard Taylor, who leads his team of researchers, claims to be able to reproduce the intricate damage inflicted on crop circles using the gadget developed by his team at the University of Oregon. Some crop circle formations are found to have unusual properties such as collapsed stalks and the presence of radiation, characteristics not found in crop circles made by pranksters using simple wooden planks. But following the study conducted by Professor Taylor and his team with the magnetron, he theorizes that crop circles with unusual characteristics could be explained by his research. Professor Taylor explains the radiation waves that are capable of heating food when utilized in an oven cause crop stalks to fall over and cool in a horizontal position. Professor Taylor's report is in this month's edition of Physics World. But this isn't really new research at all.
No, not at all. Of course, BLT, our good buddy Nancy Talbot, along with, it was first Levengood who figured this out, that there was a microwaving going on. So this isn't new at all, and at the time, especially when they discovered this, it was microwaves were still kind of clunky, and in fact, it wasn't too long ago that some kids, and I'm pretty sure it was MIT, but it was one of the universities, they went and they took apart a microwave, and they created this elaborate, huge device. It was big. One person, it took like two people to hold it. One person could strap it on, but it was extremely dangerous, where they microwaved the plants, and it was huge and clunky, and it certainly wasn't the type of thing you could get into a field and out of. They had to drive their truck into the field with their equipment to do this. So the technology wasn't there. So maybe he created just something now that you could do that with, but what about the ones from years ago?
Right.
And we already knew there was a microwave, but where does that microwave come from?
Well, and along with this study, he also mentions the use of GPS.
Yeah.
You know, again, how do you explain the earlier ones?
Yeah. Unless he's saying, like, of course, we know some people theorize that some kind of microwave laser out of the sky, but even the people who talk about how it can't be a satellite.
Right.
That's too far, and that microwave would dissipate through the atmosphere. It would have to be some sort of steady platform above the ground, like a helicopter or something. But of course, helicopters aren't seen, so
that leads people to speculate blimps, the use of blimps, dirigibles.
Yeah. Racing away in a blimp. That's
right.
Kind of funny.
Go.
They created, let's get out of here.
Yep.
Yeah, of course, which blimps would be caught on radar, and perhaps at night the blimp would be difficult to see, but you would see something blocking out the stars, I guess, or something. But if they got busted, that would be kind of funny. They get busted, and then all the people sitting out there looking for crop circles will put their spotlight on it. There it is.
Shoot down the blimp.
Shoot it with a BB.
Well, it'll be interesting to hear if we hear anything more on this. I'm sure we will, because it was picked up by everyone today, it seemed.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but anyway, next week or in the future, we'll cover some more crop circles, because there are a whole bunch of new ones that have popped up that we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, there's been, of course, every year there's some. This year seems slow, but there's some more new ones. But the other thing I like is how he doesn't have to produce this device. Yeah. He says he has it, but he doesn't have to demonstrate it in use or anything.
I'm sure if you call him, he'll show you.
Maybe we would.
Yeah.
We should.
He looks like a nice
Send us
guy.
the diagrams.
I
He
saw his
probably is.
picture. Nice guy.
And who knows? Maybe, it'd be interesting to have a conversation with him.
Well, and I liked the quote I saw from him when, I don't remember who the interview was with. It might have been Reuters. But he stated that, he doesn't worry about being affiliated with crop circle research, being thought of as a weirdo, because he approaches it as a scientist. He says when you have things that are unknown, you try to figure them out, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
So I do like that, He sounds like a level-headed guy, and he's not one of these scientists who hides in the closet and won't face these things that get giggled at.
Yeah. Maybe I got a little too excited there. And the whole people trying to explain the stuff away. And I need to sit back and appreciate his work.
Absolutely.
Thanks, buddy, because he did confirm that microwaves can be doing it, and he needs to look at the work where there's evidence that, microwaves are at work here.
Absolutely. So, we should look at contacting him.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, in other news, it turns out that a well-known UFO that was taken in 1990 in Belgium was most likely a hoax. Someone stepped forward to claim responsibility for hoaxing the photo in an interview with a French reporter last Tuesday. According to Reuters, this self-admitted culprit explained, "We made the model with polystyrene, we painted it, and then we started sticking things to it, then we suspended it in the air, then we took the photo." This photo has been widely circulated and has been associated with the period known as the Belgian UFO wave that took place during 1989 and 1990. Everybody's seen this picture.
Everybody's seen it, but there's more to this.
I wanted to ask you about the more, so go for it.
Yeah, there's a lot more. I have emailed the general because I've met him. We had him at MUFON 4 years ago in San Jose, another California MUFON, which was a great MUFON. Probably one of the best conferences, second best conference, second to ours, that I've ever been to. I mean, it was we had so many people, including General de Brouwer, who was an Air Force Belgium general who was in charge of investigating this whole phenomena. And so I've asked him if this is the same person, and he hasn't responded yet. But I'll bet he will. And the story was, so that it was an 18-year-old kid, and this person was 18 during that period of time, who took the photo and who gave it to the Air Force. They investigated it. They never released the kid's name because he didn't want his name released. But the Air Force, Belgium Air Force, looks into it, and investigates it. Other organizations look into it. And this kid must have had, this guy, if he faked it, some brass, because he had to really, when you're a hoax, if you hoax something, is being interrogated by these guys. But the worst thing is then when they decided that this thing is real, he sold the rights to someone. And this person has been selling this picture for decades now, making a lot of money. And I'm sure there's a cut that this person got. So they've been making a lot of the money off of this hoax picture. In fact, technically everybody's supposed to pay them in order to use it. So this person, because the name wasn't released, it still needs to be confirmed by someone in the investigation that this gentleman who claims he took the picture is indeed the person who gave it over to the Belgian Air Force. And I haven't read in any of these stories, I don't know if you have, where they have confirmed that with the Belgian Air Force.
I have not seen that.
I don't think so. So that still has to be done. Of course, the general may come forth and say, yes, this is the guy, and then we'll find out he did trick people. It's entirely possible. But this is a big story because this is one of the best UFO pictures out there.
Right.
And the most investigated by an Air Force, backed by a general. I believe there was, I think Richard Haynes, had looked into it. People say NASA, but it wasn't really NASA. It was someone who had worked for NASA, but not NASA themselves.
That makes a better headline, and that's what everybody's saying.
Exactly. So, yeah, this is a big deal.
Well, there were lots of UFO videos from the past week. Mm-hmm. So I picked out a couple that we can briefly talk about.
Cool.
But a series of red UFOs were captured on video in the sky above Helsinki, Finland on Saturday, July 23rd. The glowing objects appear to hover and move very slowly through the sky. But unfortunately, these objects do possess characteristics of the infamous Chinese lanterns.
Bum, bum, bum.
And while the identity of the objects is officially unknown, the logical identification is Chinese lanterns. And that's what the consensus is right now with the media, and that is my vote as well, being that Alejandro and I have conducted Chinese lantern testing, and we're familiar with Chinese lanterns in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And while you can't be 100% sure, when you see these reddish orange glowing balls that kind of hover and drift slowly through the sky, it's most likely Chinese lanterns.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, our Chinese lantern resident expert says, "Burnt Chinese lanterns." I was thinking of that one.
We need to get all these
Price is
queued up.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we have to do them verbally because we don't have rights for the audio. But I don't think they can pin us down if we kind of pretend
Well,
like
if
we're
you want to
making
get
it.
technical, that counts as a public performance.
Oh,
So we do have to
no.
pay for it.
Busted. We're going to have to erase this part of the show then when we put it out on podcast.
And see, our friend's bird can get away with whistling "Whistle While You Work" because it's a bird. Nobody's going to sue the bird.
Oh, I know, the crazy bird. Don't forget, go to YouTube. Check out, search for Whistle While You
Whistle
Work.
while you work, and look for cute little, what are they, cockatiels?
Yeah.
Cockatiels.
Although this is at PG-13, you think? They show this kind of stuff on nature shows.
They do, and I'm wondering if this is even recommended to watch at work. It's a fine line there.
But it's funny.
You definitely need to see it. So, anyway, let's see. We have another video here. A man claims to have witnessed a UFO in the sky above the town of Vestal, New York. The witness saw the object from a hospital and described that it hovered for approximately 10 seconds, then it shot up like a bullet and vanished. 10 other people supposedly saw the UFO as well. As the man was driving home from the hospital, he saw the UFO again, and this time he managed to snap a picture of the disc-shaped object.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a weird photo. I mean, this is a perfectly disc-shaped object.
I know I looked at the picture and thought, wow, neat, but I didn't revisit the story to look at it a little closer, so I can't remember it completely.
You're not watching the video stream, are you, Alejandro?
Yeah, let me go over there and take a look.
Because we do have pictures of these on our video stream right now.
Video stream, the magic of video stream. Well, there's a commercial.
And, you know, some people have said that is a red flag for them, that, you know, he was able to see it later and take a picture of
crazy.
it.
Weren't there two pictures, though?
Two pictures, yes, but they were both of the second appearance of this object.
Oh, right,
when he was driving home from the hospital.
It's a strange picture, yeah. Someone needs to look at it closer because it's, of course, if there's no signs of pixelation or any of that stuff, then it's a pretty stunning picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
It reminds me,
it's a very clear disc, a very regular disc.
Reminds me of like those ones from the 70s that we have in the Windows collection.
Exactly.
It's a very clear disc.
But when I see that, unfortunately, I think of my iPhone and how easily it is to take a picture and put a UFO into it. So
yeah.
But I'm not doubting him. He certainly could have taken it. That's an incredible picture.
Yeah.
So check out that one. That's pretty cool. And then strange lights were seen in Ontario, Canada on the evening of Saturday, July 16th, and were captured on video by Hamilton resident Simon Reynolds. And this is an interesting story. The UFOs were first spotted above Reynolds' house by 3 young girls who described one of the objects as red, but it had yellow lights all over it. It made no noise at all. It was completely silent. It was like hovering. That's how they described it. It was like hovering.
It's they more, said like?
They did, but it's cuter than that because they're like 8.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah. And so they got excited and they ran in to get Reynolds, who pulled out his iPhone to record the objects. Several other people in the area saw the strange objects in the sky, but nothing out of the ordinary was detected by the control tower at a nearby airport. And similar lights were seen the following week as well. And authorities have no idea what the strange lights were.
Wow. That's a good story.
Yeah, one of the girls even drew an illustration of what she saw, and it's kind of an interesting thing. But they actually saw like a craft, not just lights.
That kid's got a future in UFO investigation.
I think so. You know, Wendell Stevens was very good at creating these illustrations, these technical illustrations based on witness reports. And I really like this little girl's drawing, and it's very colorful, and it's kind of fun. It's very descriptive.
Kids would be good at that because that's when your coloring skills are at their peak.
You were right.
You ask me to color something with some crayons right now, it's not going to be as good as kids who are really practicing it every day at school.
As I started aging, my crayon skills went, and then I had to graduate to colored pencils, and then those went. Now I can't do anything.
Yeah. I always love the videos, too, with kids in the background, like when you get those videos to investigate and look at, because they're always really cute.
Well, in this video, you can actually hear the kids in it being excited about the UFO.
That's cool.
Yeah, excellent. Well, Alejandro, that is it for the news for today. Remember to check out these stories and more at openminds.tv, your source for UFO-related news. I'm Jason McClellan, your Open Minds news correspondent, and you've been briefed.